Hello, hello. Let's try this again. Let's see here. Are we live at this point? I do not know. Let's reload this page. There we go. Awesome. Tried this a minute ago, and it looked like we weren't live. Well, OBS was saying that we were live, but YouTube did not seem to register that. So, very interesting. Looks like we're probably live now. Let me click on this. Double check here. Let me click on this. Double check here. All right. Self, hey, how are you doing? Let me clean a little bit of my mess here right at the moment. I've got a microphone that needs a little bit of adjustment. All right, let's see if that sounds a little bit better. Mystical Meow is also in the house. Zelf, welcome on in. All right, very good. Yeah, a few minutes ago I was trying to get on live and my production software said I was streaming and that things were live. And then I went to YouTube and it looked like maybe we weren't really live there. Had to double check it on another computer, and the other computer also showed we're not live, so I had to restart everything. But I think we're good now. How are y'all doing today? Enjoying your Tuesdays? Got either of y'all have anything interesting planned for today? We've got some DeFi Kingdom stuff to talk about, as usual. However, it's a little bit different today. We are working on creating a ERC20 token of our own that we're going to be able to use in the DeFi Kingdoms ecosphere. And I'm planning to use that as a reward ticket. I think several of y'all know that I'm trying to use these reward tickets here to reward viewers of the channel for giveaways. But I'd like to get something off of the Polygon network. I'd like to get it into the DFK network. Yes, a rock token, that's exactly right. So we're looking at that right now, or on the Twitch stream this morning, we got started with it. And we're using this remix.ethereum.org website to go and create our very first Rock 808 test token. And then once we can create this and see how it's going to work and play around with it a little bit, then we're going to either get that whitelisted through DFK. This is kind of like the honk token there that Crypto Meme was kind of explaining to me and talking to me about the other day, and it looks like Crypto Meme is going to help us create our own rock token as well. But yeah, something like that, and then y'all can go and we could maybe even put that into a liquidity pool perhaps, although that's not my main goal for it, but it could add a little bit more of something interesting. Yeah. So Zelf says, just working with you, whispering in my ear. Ah, yes. Very good. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today, Zelf. It's going to be, of course, any of y'all out there in Shatterland can certainly ask crypto questions or DFK questions or whatever it is that you want to talk about, and we can go off on those topics. But if we don't have a specific topic that someone's bringing up, in general today, we're going to be learning about creating a new ERC20 token. And even though I know a little bit of programming from my past, I am new to blockchain programming. I'm new to Solidity, and so it's quite a bit of a learning curve for us here. But I thought I may as well stream it. Maybe some other people out there would like to start learning how to do some of this stuff. And ultimately, one of my main goals for streaming blockchain programming content, I guess, is that maybe we'll start to work on a couple of little mini DFK games, and maybe I can inspire a couple of y'all to put together some kind of new little mini DFK game. And that would kind of be fun to do, especially if we can have it integrated in some kind of a way where we're winning tokens or something like that. Yeah. So let's get back to it. So this morning we left off with developing our very first ERC20 token, and we got one created. So we've got 42 of these Rock 808 test tokens created. Here we see a whole bunch of places, a whole bunch of digits, a whole bunch of zeros. And that's only because we are keeping track of 18 places out after the decimal. That's what most cryptos do, like Ethereum as well. And so we need to, because we are specifically dealing with a non-fractional number for the number of tokens, we just add those 18 places, add those 18 zeros. We talked about all of that this morning, so I don't want to go over it all again. But the point is, we've got 42 of these tokens generated here. We're playing around with them a little bit. We have got them set up in a wallet, which is local here to the Remix platform, the Remix IDE. And so they cannot exist outside of this platform yet. Hey, welcome in, Nobel. Hello again. Awesome. Good to have you back. Just kind of picking up where we got started, or sorry, where we left off from this morning. We want to create a token supply that's going to work, and I kind of want to wait for 9A7A to get back here with us, because 9A7A was pretty interactive with me this morning, and I think that they might appreciate being in on this part again. But what we want to do now is we want to be talking about creating some tokenomics, or a supply of tokens. And as I mentioned in this morning's stream, do we want to have a fixed supply, uncapped, lazy, capped, lazy? And we have definitions of what those things are going to be in a minute. However, I don't know if y'all are hearing something that sounds like Discord messages flying around. I'm hearing a little something. I'm thinking I need to mute some DFK or some Discord servers. So let me do that real quick. Let's mute a couple for 3 hours for the next length of the stream, and we'll see if we get any more little beeps pop up. Okay. So the next thing that we want to do is talk about our supply. At this point, our token has a fixed supply issued on the deployment, right? We've got 42 tokens. Let's explore what it means and the alternatives we have when developing our cryptocurrencies. So the definition for fixed supply is the total supply of the token is issued on deployment and sent to the deploying wallet address. In this case, we choose a total supply beforehand and issue the whole amount to our wallet when the contract's constructor, which if we come back up to here, I think, File Explorer, token sol right here. Let's see, where was that it? Let's see, it was token SOL. We needed this other tab here. Okay, so when we use the creator method to create our Rock 808 test token, we created 42 of those with 18 places out after the decimal. And it was sent to our very specific wallet address in the Remix IDE or development interface environment. So leaving us with the effort of distributing those tokens among different holders. So that means that we would distribute those tokens ourselves, and that is, I think, what we want to do for the raffle tickets, right? We want raffle tickets that are going to be solely owned by me in the beginning, and as y'all are doing things that are helpful to the community and being a part of the community, interacting, then I want to hand those rewards tickets out to y'all for something you can redeem a little bit later. If we don't want to issue all the tokens at once, then we should opt for a lazy minting approach. And so it's possible that we might not, even though I'm going to be handing all of these out to y'all, we still might want to do some kind of lazy minting. And the reason that we might want that is because I don't necessarily know how many rewards tickets we're going to need. I don't want to, maybe it's okay to overestimate, in which case maybe we could say something like 42 billion tokens or something, and that could be okay. But I definitely don't think that I want to underestimate, because then I would be wanting to give out some rewards tokens and I might not have any left to give, right? However, we do have to keep in mind that the whole idea of the rewards tokens is that y'all are going to be getting those from me, and then you're most likely going to want to redeem those back. I can't imagine that people are going to want to hold on to those for too long. I do want to design the rewards tokens in such a way that y'all can skip a specific contest if you don't want to participate in one. So if you've got 10 rewards tickets, but you want to wait for, and maybe I'm giving out a pet egg as an example, but maybe you want to wait and not redeem those right away. You'd rather wait for, giving out a Gen 1 hero or something like that. I want y'all to be able to hold off on that. And so you wouldn't have to necessarily redeem, but eventually y'all would want to redeem those tickets back. And so they're going to be coming back into my wallet as they're being redeemed. And so I can't imagine more than a few tens of thousands perhaps being out at any given time. I don't think I'm ever going to have tens of thousands of viewers watching the streams or anything like that. All right. And if we want to say that maybe each viewer, maybe a better way to look at it was, how many rewards tickets would we ever want someone to be holding all at once? And maybe a number would be 1,000, right? If we want viewers to maybe get up to, hey, Zabu, how are you doing? Welcome on in. We are creating our own ERC20 tokens today. Yeah, kind of chatting about that. We're talking about maybe a little bit of the tokenomics of it right at the moment, as we are creating Rock 808 test tokens to start with. How are you doing? What are you doing today? So getting back to the topic here for the tokenomics, if we want maybe a maximum of 1,000 tickets for each individual person that's out there, I can't imagine that someone would want to hold more than 1,000 tickets. We're paying a couple, like 2, 10, 20 tickets. Maybe there would be something on later down the line where we'd want to have 100 tickets for something, possibly. And then maybe we would want an opportunity for someone to hold 10 times that many for something really radical that they're getting. But I can't imagine, at least right now, that anyone would want to hold more than 1,000 of these tickets for stuff. So if we think about that, and then we think how many viewers could we have, and this is something else that we need to consider, is not how many viewers will ever have existed, right? Some people might get interested in the content and then they might get pulled away, or maybe they're done with crypto, or maybe they want to go away and live on an island somewhere and all this kind of stuff. So those people probably would not want to continue to hold their tickets. Of course, I guess also there is a issue of my wallet was compromised, those tickets were lost, I lost my password to that wallet, so some tickets would just end up falling by the wayside. But even with that being the case, I think having 1,000 tickets per human is still something okay to do. And then how many people would be watching at any current time? And I'm going to say maybe 10,000 at the most. I can't imagine that my stream would ever have more than 10,000 people, and that is really being lenient. I would be stoked if we had 1,000 viewers, not necessarily 1,000 watching all at one moment, but 1,000 people in general that were regular users, regular viewers. So if we say 10,000, just to be a little on the safe conservative side, and we're not running out of tickets, then that gives us a number that we can kind of work with, right? So 10,000, and then each person might have, let's say, 1,000 tickets. Then that means that we're looking at about 10 million tickets in total to give out, which seems way more than I would ever need. I can't imagine needing that many. Let's see. Sabu says, sweet, the world needs potato token. Absolutely, indeed. Zelf says, could always make a version 2 when the time comes. That is true. Yeah, that is true. In fact, I think Crypto Meme was talking a little bit about that too, in that there was some testing that he was doing when he was first playing around with that honk token that they created, and messed up a few times originally, right? So we could always have a version 2. We could always have like a multiplier token, kind of like the Moksha runes in a way, where you've got a different type of token to be there for the higher levels of something, or even like a $10 bill as opposed to a $1 bill, right? So we might have a new token that would then be equivalent to 10 or 20 of these other tokens, and then maybe even a redeem bonus where if you turn in 20 of these version 1 tokens, then you get, or maybe if you turn in 18 of these old tokens, then you would get 2 of the upgraded token right there, right? And then that way I could have the supply of the smaller tokens coming back to me and be able to send those back out, and those version 2 tokens would be more like a $10 bill in a way. But that's a good idea, Zelf. Yeah, we could always add something a little bit later if we needed to. In which case, and that's actually a really good idea. So Zelf, thank you for pointing that out, because now that I think about it, I think what I'd rather do is start off with a few of these tokens that we're dealing with now, like maybe 1,000 only, max supply ever, right? And the reason for that would be that it's going to help to give the impression that there's a limited supply of those. So in which case, I mean, there literally are. But it also means that while we have a small community, that we don't have the feeling of, oh my goodness, there's 10 million tokens in here. These tokens are really worthless. Although I don't want y'all to really be putting values to these tokens, right? Because these tokens, I am assuming that probably some people are going to play around and put them in a liquidity pool. I'm sure I'm going to show that as well. But the idea is that I don't really want these to be a currency. I don't want anyone to be speculating that these are going to rise in value, and I want to make sure that I'm saying that every day. Don't hold on to these don't hold on to these raffle tickets that I'm making expecting them to go up in value over time, right? But we also maybe want to show that there's not so many of them that people are hoarding too many. We want them to be redeemed. We want them used. We want them circulated, right? Coming into your wallets and going out of your wallets back to mine and back and forth and so on as y'all are getting the prizes that you want. So if we had 1,000 of those tokens and we were set up in such a way that you would be redeeming those back on a regular basis, I think with just the small amount of viewers that we have for now and probably for a while, and especially if we're only using a few tokens a week and circulating those back and forth every week, that 1,000 could probably go a long way. Or maybe, let's see, let's do a little bit of math here while we're thinking about this. So if we've got 1,000 tokens, actually let's do it a different way. If I'm handing out right now, Mystical Meows in the house here says hello. Mystical Meows, I think I've started to learn to I don't want to say the word use necessarily, but I think you become my indicator that it is the 30-minute mark past the hour. Oh my. So yeah, before I finish my thought on that, it is 2:30, it is the time, and whether that was your intention or not, Mystical Meows, I do want to be reminded that we do have the giveaways to do every 30 minutes after the hour, and so whatever method I can use to see that I've got to do that, I love it. So let's go ahead and switch over to the Nightbot here. We see we've got Nobel, Mystical Meows, Zelf, and Zabu in the house. Glad I could be of help. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it, actually. So, let's see. Only 4 people on right now, which is probably right. I didn't see any other names. Let's give anybody else just another maybe 60 seconds or so to get in. Everybody should be recognizing by now that 30 minutes after the hour. And Mystical Meows, do you have an alarm or something set? You seem to be like right on the dot all the time. I was making a comment earlier in this morning's Twitch stream that setting an alarm for this would probably be a good idea, probably a smart thing to do. And my guess is that you probably already have an alarm. It seems like it. All things DFK, Robin Hood in the house. Hey, how are you doing? And Nobel is back. There we go. Nice. Uh-oh, 2 Mystical Meows? Why do we have 2 Mystical Meows? Tim, we're going to take away one of those Mystical Meow things. I'm not sure why there's 2, but there shouldn't be. Yo, Rock, I was playing marbles with you last night. Hey, Tim Butters, absolutely. I did play marbles for a couple of hours with them on that stream. I don't remember, Tim, who were you there? Let's go ahead and grab these names and copy these over to our watch list here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and paste all of these. Mystical Meows, I don't know why there's seems to be 2 of you in here. Is one of those names? Oh, there's one with a space and one without a space. Maybe you have 2 accounts? Do you have like 2 names? One with a space and one without a space or something? We're only going to let one of those in, of course. So, okay, let's check this. All things DFK, Noel, Mystical Meows, Tim Butters, Zabu, Zelf. But man, you. All right. I do remember that name. We were talking about it in chat for a little bit. Mystical Meows has been cloned. Yes, we don't want that. All right, so we've got these names right here. Y'all are the ones that are in chat. Let's go ahead and copy and paste a couple of those. And give y'all 1, 2, 3 more entries each. And then one of these rollovers is going to be a +2 tokens if we land on that, and the other one is going to be a +4 token. So if we get that, then nobody wins this time. We just add 4 to the next round there. And let's go ahead and spin again. Or spin in the first place. Good luck. Good luck, everybody. And it's going to be, looks like probably Zabu, Tim Butters. Ooh, it's close. That's so close. Zabu in the house. There we go. Come on in. Roll over +4. That's what we would like. We would like that. But it looks like Zabu in the house getting our thing here. I think y'all have also heard that I'm not going to be giving these out during the stream today. I'm having a little bit of an issue. I also have a couple of names on my list, including you, Mystical Meows, who won yesterday. Sergeant Filthy McNasty won 2 tickets yesterday, and Rob won a ticket yesterday also. And as I was trying to send those out, those of y'all that were not on this morning's stream, I was trying to send those out yesterday, and Polygon is acting up with me and it's not allowing me to send these tickets out. Yeah, Zabu says, or Rig. I almost thought you said rugged on that, and it reminded me that back in the past when I had experienced these problems before with OpenSea, that we affectionately or unaffectionately, however you want to say it, we nicknamed this to be Broken Sea, as we kept trying to transfer things around here over OpenSea, and it was always broken, or broken a lot of the time. So we have, and this is another reason why I would love to get a ROC 808 token on the DFK blockchain. A couple of reasons for that is I really don't want to take time out from the stream to have to switch over my wallet to the Polygon network and have to switch over my account to my Sandbox account, come over here into OpenSea, transfer some stuff over here, and it's a lot more work and a challenge for me to do that than if we were to have a token right here on the DFK blockchain, where I would love to be able to click on my inventory, click on a ROC 808 token, send that item to you right there, that easy. That's what I would love to ultimately be able to do for these tokens, right? Be able to just see it in your inventory, and then when y'all want to see it, you're not going to need to worry about loading up the Polygon wallet address for yourselves, going into OpenSea and looking at the tokens there and all this kind of stuff. And then what about when we try to redeem those on Saturday? Another issue we had last Saturday was some people were fairly new to crypto, and some people didn't have OpenSea accounts yet, and so trying to get them to send those tickets back to me started to become more of a hassle than anything else. We didn't have a really efficient way for y'all to send that stuff back to me. Whereas here, if we were just able to click on something and send those tokens back to my wallet address, that would be super easy to do, right? So anyway, that's part of the goal of what we're working on today in creating this ROC 808 token, is something that should hopefully make our prizes a little bit easier to get to. But Zabu, you are not rugged. It is just OpenSea is being a little broken today, and we will be getting those tickets out probably after stream, and I think I'm going to need to reboot my computer and all this other kind of stuff. So you are on the list. Let's see, grease in the wheel. Yes, indeed. Deep fried potatoes. Speaking of deep fried potatoes, I wish I could have some poutines. Is that how to pronounce that? What is that? Is that like a type of potato chip or something? I'm about to turn on a fan. If the audio quality drops drastically, then let me know. All right. Let's get back to what we're doing. So thanks for the reminder that it was 2:30 and we needed to do the drawing. I want to make sure if somebody else does not remind me, then who's ever in chat, just go ahead and remind me it's 30 minutes past the hour and we need to do spin wheel. Let's see. Let's get back to this though. We want to build this token quickly so I can get these tokens out to you more quickly as well. Although I will be giving you probably the OpenSea reward ticket, because I don't think what we're doing here is going to be ready by this weekend. But if I can create something today, I would love to give y'all out some sample somethings. So that'll be kind of cool if we could do that. Something else that I thought about doing was looking back at the videos that we've done and doing like a snapshot, right, of who was here in chat with me on these certain days, and looking back and see, Tim Butters, Nobel, Mystical Meows, Zabu was all here, all things DFK were here with me on this very day that we're creating these reward tickets, and maybe give y'all a special reward for being here on this particular day and hanging out with me. Believe it or not, I still have a list of some snapshot photos that I took when I was doing some sandbox stuff, and my intention is still to get back to those people that were with me on certain days and get them a little something as well. So I think once we get out of the bear market, things will be a little bit nicer for a lot of reasons. Let's see, poutines, yes, it's delicious. Fries, cheese, curds, brown gravy. Oh wow, that does sound good actually. Tell you what, in fact, Poutins. Oh, wow. Something like this? That does look good, actually. Maybe even in a little basket like that as well. Okay. Yeah, that's making me hungry. Nice. Zabu says, I always wanted to try. I saw one on some fair food show. Yeah, my goodness. Jokamach, hey. Hello, y'all. It's French Canadian delicacy. Wow, interesting. It looks good. I'll take 2, thanks. Yes, indeed. Those do look delicious. All right, let's get back to this. I'm really excited to be able to give you all some of these new tokens that we're trying to create here. So I don't want to dilly-dally or linger too long. Let's get this. Of course, still chat amongst yourselves. If you got DeFi Kingdoms or crypto questions or whatever, don't hesitate to drop those. We do want to talk about all that kind of stuff as well. So let's see. What we are doing here is we're talking about tokenomics. Do we want to fix supply? And we are kind of thinking about a smaller number. Zelf kind of inspired me that, we could always add more later. And so then I thought about that a little bit more, and I'm thinking, yeah, okay, so maybe we could have even a smaller amount, like maybe just 1,000 tokens to start with, and then have like a $10 bill denominator that you could redeem for a little bit more, or maybe even specifically if you turned in like 18 or 19 of the smaller denominations, then you would get 2 of the bigger denominations. So ultimately what that really means is you have more power if you've been saving these up for a certain amount of time, rather than spending them right away, rather than when you get 1 or 2 or 3 tokens and you're redeeming them right away for these small prizes. That if you turned in some of these smaller tokens into a bigger token, then it would actually have more redeeming power, right? So 19 or 18 of these smaller tokens would turn into like 20, although it would really just be 2 of these heavier weighted 10x tokens, right? So yeah, and that's an idea from Zelf, so thank you very much. And let's see, Zelf is also saying here in chat, now imagine that with Lars fries and sausage gravy there too. Dang. Okay, man, enough. I've already eaten lunch. I've just eaten lunch, and I'm already getting hungry again just thinking about that stuff. Okay, so let's see here. We talked about fixed supply. Let's talk about the other 2 things: uncapped lazy and capped lazy. What would we want to do with those? So with uncapped lazy supply, tokens aren't minted and issued in a unique batch on deployment, but instead they are issued in small quantities and sent to the specified wallet or wallets. Consequently, to one or more actions. Oh, you know what? Maybe that's actually a better way to do it. So the uncapped lazy supply sounds possibly a little bit like what DFK Gold it does, right? So when we go and mine for DFK Gold, it's probably an uncapped lazy supply that just gets minted. A certain amount gets minted for us, boom, it's created out of thin air, and now we have this additional gold. And then of course we have a sink for that gold when we go and use gold for other types of things we're doing in the game. And I would want to sink for the same thing. So we would be minting these raffle tickets when you do something. And maybe rather than me handing out these raffle tickets to you, I could do something else to allow you to interact with a smart contract in such a way that, just like sending a miner off to mining gold in DFK is going to mint that gold for you right there directly to your wallet, then maybe I could allow you to. That sounds like an advanced thing that we do want to do later. I think for now, let's start this off super simple in such a way that the rewards tickets will be just directly minted to me, and then I will hand those out. That sounds super easy to do, right? Just creating a token and handing it out. It would be nice if we had an easy way for you to send those back to me. But then later on down the road, I would much more prefer that y'all could do something to have those tickets minted directly to you, rather than me having to send those out in some kind of a way. I'm sure I'll have to send something out or provide you with some kind of way to interact with those smart contracts, but that's going to be interesting. Jamokin says, okay, going back to work, but we'll leave the stream on. Thank you so much, Jokamach. I really appreciate you leaving the stream on. It does help the algorithm. In fact, if y'all want to help the algorithm, do a like on the video here on YouTube. I guess that helps out a lot, and really appreciate that. Born to Die. Been a busy day today, just caught up in the stream. Great stuff. Absolutely. Yeah, Born to Die. Thanks for being here. So, again, you probably have already done a lot of the things that I'm learning today, right? So we're just kind of talking about this. Feel free to chime in whenever you want to, and a little bit of guidance or not, if you just want to see my stumbling around with it. But yeah, this sounds like something super exciting. I agree. Great stuff. So let's see. For uncapped lazy supply, it says, in this case, the total supply is regulated through the economic-driven principles and not a hard-coded value. And in general, I like that idea, right? I don't want... Well, I do like the ideas of decentralized finance and decentralization in general, right? And I think that if we are going to be learning how to program some things for blockchain and DeFi and maybe more generally, that we as a community would want to learn more about how to do something where the economics drives the supply, right? A little bit more for some of this stuff. And that might also help us when we're actually creating a game itself. And we want to have a well-designed game that's not imbalanced with the economics, right? So having an uncapped lazy supply seems like probably the way to go. And here we have another comment. It says, think of a miner, like a Bitcoin miner, validating a transaction and getting tokens back as a reward, or a user stacking their tokens to receive periodic rewards. And I think they mean staking. staking their tokens to receive a periodic reward. Absolutely right. The absence of hard-coded max supply, though, could make your token inflationary, and that's what we need to watch out for, incurring a loss of value over time, or worse, putting it at a security risk. Even if this goes outside the focus of this tutorial, it is good to understand that we can and should cap our supply. So they're saying that probably it's better and safer for our economy to cap our supply. And I can go with that too. I'm not, but it does seem like an uncapped lazy supply would be good as long as we have controlled how to go about that. In other words, what I wouldn't want to do is I wouldn't want to provide a link to a site where y'all can just go and sit there all day clicking a button and minting more of these raffle tickets, right? That's not what we want. What we want is a way that those get distributed out based on your interaction with our community here. So we would have to be some kind of good interaction. Maybe once we have defined what quote good interaction is in the community, we could automate the distribution of those tickets. Like maybe if you are speaking in chat, as a good example, if you speak in chat once every 15 minutes, then you would get some type of tokens for that, right? Maybe also something that I've seen, and I haven't seen it a lot, maybe it happened more in the past with DFK. I remember that one of the very first times I was watching Bullen do something, or some kind of video with Bullen, he was talking about doing a screen capture of people saying interesting things in chat, in the DeFi Kingdoms general chat. He wanted to screen capture those things and then reward those people a little bit later on. And maybe that would be something that we would want to do here also, is not just saying like hello in chat as an example every 15 minutes or something, but maybe if you give, like Zelf gave me this really cool idea, whether it was intended, whether his statement about being able to add more later, whether or not that was intended to make me think about adding a different quote denomination of coin, like a $1 bill versus a $10 bill, right? Or we could have something there. Still, his comment inspired me to think about that, and maybe we would want to reward people that have interesting bits of input that contribute to the conversation that we're having, more than just someone saying hello when the timer comes up, right? So that's something that we can think about for the future as well. So Born to Die has saying a few good things here in chat. Definitely, I think, going to be a strong contributor, as we're talking about that, to this conversation here, since Born to Die has done a little bit of coding. And actually, I think I'm going to almost take some of Born to Die's examples as an idea that might spawn some of the things that I do as well. Like I would like to have a web page that displays information from DFK contract or something like that. Anyway, Born to Die says, Solidity is new to me. I'm more focused on interacting with existing contracts in the front end. Ah, yeah. So you know more than me. Oh no, I do not know more than you. I mean, this is the first 5 lines of code that I've ever put into here, right? And I'm copying and pasting this from a tutorial that I'm looking at on another screen, and we're talking about it and discussing it. So we're learning. We are learning. Let's put it that way. We as a stream and community are learning how to create an ERC20 token and working with that. And we're kind of openly discussing some ideas. So yeah, you are here learning as well. I'm learning stuff here. Absolutely. Yeah, I think we all are. Let's see. That could be cool. Yes, I do believe so. All things DFK or Robinhood. Tim Butter says, and then you can tell value of the comment based on their value in the token. Something like that, right? So here's the problem with that, Tim, and that is one of the things that I don't like about some type of reward system, like giving out tokens for, let's say good comments in chat as an example. Like, let's just take that to the next level here. What if somebody gives out a whole bunch of really good comments in chat, and so I give them a whole bunch of reward tickets. Oh, you've been doing really, really good in chat, and so on and so forth. And then 3 months later, they get a new job somewhere else that takes them off to a different part of the world. They maybe get married or start a family and some other stuff, and they totally fall away or realize that they're falling away from the community that we built here. But they realize that they've got 10,000 of these tokens that they've built up for, you know, all of their good contribution. And so they give away or sell those tokens to somebody that they have a lot of money maybe, or a friend of theirs, but that friend of theirs or the person with a lot of money did not contribute anything. And so now what we're looking at is a person in chat who has 10,000 tokens, but they themselves weren't really the contributors, right? And so we need to be a little cautious with that, as far as I do want y'all to own these things, and I do want you to be able to trade them around. That's something I do want. But when we make statements like, then you can tell the value of the comments based on their value in token, that's a dangerous statement right there, because you might not be able to tell the value of Rock 808's value in chat based on the number of tokens that Rock 808 has, right? And so we want to be really careful if we are trying to make that type of correlation there. Have some friends working on a JSON database of all heroes right now. Ooh, awesome. I would love to see that kind of thing get being able to be utilized on a regular basis for a lot of these developers right now, including us. We're about to be a developer as well, as a community, and myself personally here, we're going to be developing things for DFK. And rather than using the API that has to hit DFK chain, which it seems like a lot of us developers are concerned about, we don't want to interact with their API too much, quote, too much, whatever that amount is, that if we had a couple of distributed databases, whether it's JSON or whatever, if we had some distributed databases that had all the heroes, kind of like a peer-to-peer file sharing mechanism, right? Then wouldn't that be amazing for us to pull some data from this database that maybe wouldn't need to be 100% updated every second of the day, right? Like a hero database, maybe updating that every hour would be fine, and we would just recognize that heroes that are under an hour old aren't going to be in this database, perhaps, right? Still, doing something like researching somebody's ancestor, like a hero's ancestry, could be interesting from that kind of thing, or even some heroes' professions. As an example, heroes' professions don't change, so we should be able to look in the database and recognize that even a database that's a few hours old, we should be able to look in there and see what their profession is, right? Without hitting the official DFK API stuff. Have some friends, yes, all things DFK says that would be tough to police. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe you can sell the tokens, but maybe you can't sell the tokens, but you can utilize them in certain ways. And this, by the way, Tim, is exactly where DFK's C-Jewel comes into play, right? Because with C-Jewel, we cannot sell C-Jewel. We cannot give it away. We can't sell C-Jewel itself directly. If we wanted to give value to someone else, we would actually have to withdraw that token from the jeweler, which when we're talking about jeweler 2.0, remember those jewel tokens are going to be locked in the jeweler for a time period. And if you try to withdraw early, there's a 50% penalty from the invested tokens. That's a huge amount of jewel that would be burned from withdrawing early. So, man, you better know what you're doing if you're going to be locking away your jewel for a year or 2 years or 3 years. Man alive, you know, DFK has only been in existence for 1 year. They just recently had their 1 year anniversary party, right? Imagine what would happen in the next 1 year or in 3 years. That's an eternity when it comes to blockchain gaming and crypto stuff in general. That's crazy. So, yeah, that's exactly where C-Jewel comes from. And we could do something like that, but that's a little bit beyond what we want to be doing right at the moment. What we're trying to work on right now is just a way for me to get some, quote, raffle tickets out to y'all as a token, ERC20 token that we can hopefully integrate with the DFK blockchain specifically and get that back. All for more third-party tools. Indeed. Yeah, I would love for us to be creating more of those type of tools. Robinhood says, yes, C-Jewel will be the saving grace for eliminating great threats to the project. I agree. A lot of things that I've been reading about how C-Jewel is going to interact, and I didn't fully understand it like a month and a half ago or whenever. I was thinking C-Jewel would be a token that you would be spending to get subscriptions and stuff like that, but indeed that's not the case. It's just going to give you a numeric value that you can allot to subscriptions, right? So we're not actually spending or giving up any of our C-Jewel, which I think is amazing. Also, because you can't sell it and trade it in, then those big whales can't be draining our DeFi Kingdoms economy by dumping in a bunch of their money, staking that, and then draining all of the rewards out, you know, and selling it off as USD value or something like that. So this is a really good way to help out the DFK economy. But again, we are looking at a ROC 808 token as something that you can transfer, sell, give away, and redeem more specifically for some kind of a value or some kind of rewards. So we want those rewards tickets, and we want you to be able to sell them, give them away, whatever it is that you want to do. That's what we're working on right now. So we could also have a capped lazy supply, and like the uncapped lazy supply mechanism, the tokens are issued in small quantities, with the only difference that there's a max supply is decided beforehand and hard-coded in smart contract or passed on deployment. In this tutorial, we're going to broadly explore all the methods created of supply on our tokens. So at this point, even though uncapped lazy supply sounds kind of cool for us to work on, I think still fixed supply is probably what I want to center on. And then as Zelf had the inspiration, gave me the inspirational idea to just have a higher level denomination come into play if it ever comes to that. In that case, I think what we're looking at is a supply of 10,000 tokens ought to be enough to do the things that I want to do with a ROC 808 token, at least right now. And then if it ever gets to a point, so 10,000 is a small enough number that it feels like you're actually owning something of limited value, and that is what I want to project, because we're not going to be giving out an infinite number of these things, right? There's a limited number of them. And so, and then if there comes a time when we need more than 10,000 of these rewards tickets, we can always make a higher denomination, like some new token that represents 10 or 100 of those tickets or something like that. But I can't imagine, like I've mentioned before, that y'all would want to be holding more than 100 of them. I want y'all to spend them. And if y'all aren't spending them, then we need to figure out why you're not spending them, right? Let's see. Zelf says, what about S-Jewel? So S-Jewel and C-Jewel are going to be exactly the same thing, right? C-Jewel is just the Crystal Veil version of it. S-Jewel is the Serendale version of it. But other than that, it will be exactly the same thing. You will be getting access to a reward pool that you can draw from for subscriptions or advanced game mechanics in either Crystal Vale and or Serendale, depending on where you're staking your Jewel tokens, right? If you're staking your Jewel tokens in Crystal Vale for Sea Jewel, then only in Crystal Vale with Sea Jewel will you get like certain power-ups. If you are staking part of your Jewel in the jeweler in Serendale 2.0, then you will be getting S Jewel, which is only going to allow you those certain power-ups in Serendale 2.0, right? And so depending on either where you're playing or if you're playing in both, you might need to decide where you want to split up your allotments of your jewel that you're putting into each of those different jewelers. And as DeFi Kingdoms expands to multiple blockchains, then there will be jewelers in those that will have other types of a jewel token. Let's say P Jewel for Polygon blockchain jewel, and so on. And where you'll be able to get the power-ups on the Polygon blockchain as well, right? Self says, be back later, Rock. Yes, absolutely. See you later. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see. Are they going to only do seal? No, Zelf, I think you were here during all that explanation, so I think I caught up with all that. Sea Jewel is the same thing as S Jewel, yep, so all things DFK is answering this as well, but S Jewel will be based on the economy and fees of Serendale on the Clayton blockchain. Yes, perfect. Yes, you got it. All right, let's go ahead and continue on with our token. So we are going to have a permanent supply of something like 10,000, and if we want to make it some interesting, more interesting number, we can think about that too. But about 10,000 tokens sounds about right for, and maybe it's going to be something around closer to 42,000 or whatever. So let's see. Let's talk about the fixed supply, and let me read off a little bit of what that is going to do for y'all. So fixed supply. Let's say we want a token with 1,000. Of our Rock 808 tokens, like we did in our code here, or 42, initially allocated to the wallet that deploys the contract. To do so, we simply call the mint function or method private function inside the token contractor. So here we've got a contractor method there, and then we see that we've got that. And I think that the example that they're giving me is exactly the same example that we have. Yes. Knowing that the constructor gets called only once on deployment, this small contract not only to transfer 1,000 tokens, the amount has 18 places. Note the decimals here, these 18 places out after the decimal to our wallet, but made it also impossible to mint any new tokens not having an exposed mint function in its code. I guess because the mint function is inside the constructor here with our curly braces. So there we open a set of curly braces and we close our set of curly braces. And so everything, those of you that aren't too programming savvy, so this block of code in these curly braces is kind of limiting our scope of this mint function here to only the constructor. And of course this constructor is all about getting read during the construction of our new token, right? And then once we've constructed the token, we never come back to the constructor method again. We can check the token balance of the address deployed by the token by calling the balance of method, just like we did before. So those of you that were here for this morning's stream on Twitch, we saw that we were able to come over here and get to the balance of a little button that we're given that shows us the balance of this wallet address that we have in this designer. And we see that we've got 42 with 18 zeros after it. So really we've got 42 of these Rock 808 tokens, right? And then all these zeros allow us places out after the decimal. So what if we want to issue over time? Well, so what if we want to issue over time and not in a unique batch? And so here we have a lazy cap, and it gives me an example of some code to do that, where specifically the constructor has the open and close parentheses immediately here, and then there's a function of issue token that's given outside of that. In fact, I can pull this over to this screen. I think I can. How am I going to do this? Let's say, let me click on something here, and more, and stays on top. All right, so this should stay on top. Here it goes. So what I'm looking at, if you wanted to do an uncapped lazy supply, then you would have your constructor with just an open close parentheses that creates the token itself, but then you have a separate function for issue tokens with its open and close parentheses right there, and then it is going to mint those at an issue token. And so you'll get 1,000 tokens issued or minted every time you call the issue token. You get 1,000 more, 1,000 more, 1,000 more every time you go to the issue token, right? In this case, every time the issue token is called, the caller will receive that amount of tokens. Of course, we can also pass an argument to vary the amount of tokens over time. And so here, where we gave the specific amount of tokens, this would be 1,000 tokens with those 18 places after the decimal. So here, what we can do is we can say whatever address receiver we want to send to, and in whatever amount that we want to send, then we're going to have a public function or method that is going to send to the receiver that amount, right? So whatever we pass into the issue tokens for an address and a number, that address becomes the receiver, the number becomes the amount, and then we're going to mint to that receiver that amount. But we're not going to worry about that in what we're doing right now. I just wanted to point out the code. And then I'm even going to spend less time here on capped modular supply. If you wanted to do that, there is some explanation of how to do that. You just make sure in the constructor, you give it a cap right here. And then you can specify that you're going to issue those tokens with the certain function there as well. All right, let's get back on to what we see. So this talks about this. Okay, so security and access is what we're going to look at next, right? In fact, maybe I can keep this over here for y'all to see in case y'all just want to read along with me here. So how to create an ERC20 token. We're looking at security and access control right now, and copying what Open Zeppelin documentation on the access control tells us. Access control, or who is allowed to do things, is incredibly important when dealing with smart contracts, right? We certainly want me, perhaps, to be the only person who can issue an amount of tokens if we do have something like a lazy uncapped version, or maybe it's maybe a smart contract will be allowed to issue those things, but we have to make sure that we give the right permission so someone doesn't sit there and like click on that, give me more, give me more, give me more all day, every day, right? Or even make a bot to do that. So who is allowed to do things is important, and like who's allowed to redeem the tokens for a prize. If we're going to be giving prizes, whether it's a hero or eggs or something like that, we want to make sure that no one is draining our bank account, if you want to call it that, or our reward box, unless they have the tokens, and then they're allowed to do that, right? So here we can see the access control of your contract may govern who can mint tokens, vote on proposals, and that would be really cool to have y'all with voting power for some things also, right? Freeze transfers and many other things, right? It is therefore critical to understand how you implement it, lest someone else steals your whole system. You know, we don't want someone coming in and wrecking the stuff. I'm not overly concerned about it at this moment, because everything in my vision at the moment is going to have to go through me as we're still learning this, at least in step 1. So I'm not going to be creating anything that's going to give out unlimited raffle tickets, and I'm not going to be creating anything that's going to give out an unlimited amount of rewards like eggs or heroes or anything like that. But I do hope to at some point come up with something that is more automated and allows y'all to interact without me or a middleman being in the way. And when that happens, then absolutely by that point we want to make sure that we are very careful about how we're dealing with this stuff. The most common and basic form of access control is the concept of ownership, where there's only an account allowed to perform sensitive tasks on the contract, which is the owner. This approach is perfectly reasonable for contracts that have single administrative user. And that's kind of the case that we've got right here in my case, at least right now, is I'm just going to be the only administrative user. Eventually, we are going to absolutely want to be creating things where maybe the smart contracts themselves are going to allow or disallow certain access to things, right? But that's not where we're at right now. So OpenZeppelin provides ownable for implementing ownership in contracts. So there is a ownable Solidity set of methods, I guess, right? And chunks of code. And then what we can do is we can make sure that we're providing certain access only to the owner, right? So there's a function in ownable for only the owner can do an issue of token, which is going to use the mint function to mint those tokens, right? So we would definitely want to be doing something like this for the stuff that we're doing for the Rock 808 tokens. I certainly, as an example, I certainly would not want one of y'all out there, although I trust each and every one of you with the very fiber of my being, but we wouldn't necessarily want to trust everyone who comes into my chat to to not mint themselves 1 million tokens, right? That would not be fair, especially if we're allowing you to input your tokens. The more tokens you have would be greater chances of winning something. So we need to make sure that in this particular case, that only the owner can grant these out, at least right now, and then we'll see how to do a little bit more of something later. In the meantime, we can add a function modifier to the issue tokens, add link right here, where we can say, that add link just says kind of, I think they just want to later come in and add a link to it. But what we have here is the only owner function in there, right? And then we can say that's who's going to mint. As we can notice, the token contract is now inheriting both from the ERC20 contract and also the ownable contract there as well, right? Let's see. By default, the owner of an ownable contract is the account that deployed it, which is usually exactly what you want. Joshua, hey, afternoon. How are you doing today? Welcome on in. We're talking all stuff DFK, as well as learning a little bit of Solidity and creating ERC20 tokens and contracts, and we're going to be creating a rock token and all kinds of good stuff today. How are you doing? What are you up to? Let's see here. Now that we have a reasonable understanding of how to design our token supply and how to secure its minting process, let's learn how to deploy our token to a real and accessible blockchain, setting up a local development platform using Hardhat. So this is our next step, guys. We're getting close to me actually being able to give you some tokens here. So set up your local blockchain development environment, which is what we're going to look at next. If we want to transfer the just created token to another wallet, list it on an exchange, or simply use it in the real world, Remix will not be enough. That's what we're using right now is Remix. To deploy an Ethereum smart contract to a public blockchain, such as Polygon or Ethereum, we'll need to set up an Ethereum development environment like Hardhat or Truffle. Have y'all heard of those before? Have any of y'all worked with Hardhat or Truffle before? Be kind of curious if anyone out there has. In this tutorial, we'll use Hardhat, and one of the things that we might want to do right at this moment is just do a quick search for ERC20 Hardhat versus Truffle. So let's see. Hardhat features tools for error management and testing, such as console.log method. Developers can call these tools from smart contracts alongside logging to a terminal. However, Truffle calls for scripting your own events alongside managing them on your own testing contracts. Hardhat allows you to use Truffle to test your smart contracts, which is better, Truffle or Remix. They both provide the ability to test and deploy contracts, but Truffle can be included in projects as a build dependency, whereas Remix contains an editor. Alright, I use Truffle when building JavaScript project based on smart contracts, like dApps, and use Remix for its debugging tools. Okay, so using Remix for debugging sounds good. And Truffle when building JavaScript projects based on smart contracts. Let's see here. Truffle, Remix versus Truffle versus Hardhat versus Foundry. Or Hardhat versus Truffle, which is better? Let's take a look at that real quick. I started with Truffle but switched to Hardhat mostly because I couldn't get Truffle's logging to work and the docs blog seemed out of date. Truffle pros: easier to send requests from a contract address. See, requests from a contract address. Often need to manually format responses. Okay. Some test setup was more intuitive to me. Contract keywords made it easy to reset the default configuration. Contract keywords makes it easy to reset test configuration. Hardhat pros: console log worked. Some test syntax like expecting events or rejections was more intuitive. Can take snapshots of the test environment to reset. Oh, I like that too. I'm more familiar with resetting or resets like that. Seems to be better maintained. Of course, I like that here as well. Another person says, I don't think one is better. Hardhat is newer though. And let's see, some people are saying Hardhat, some people say Truffle. Okay, not that big of a deal. Let's see here. Joshua says, doing good. I've been looking into a little Solidity programming too, trying to figure out how to pull info off chain and display that on a website. You know what, Joshua? This is exactly the type of thing that we are about to get into and learn. So the very first thing that I want to do is try to get a little token that I can give to y'all for like participation and rewards and stuff that's not having to be on the Polygon blockchain and going through OpenSea. I'd like to be able to give something to y'all on the DFK blockchain and then interact with DFK a little bit more. But also, one of the other things that Born to Die, I'm not sure if Born to Die is still lurking in the background or not, but Born to Die has this amazing website here. We talked about it the other day. Oops. Remove. We talked about it the other day with I don't think I have anything up here now. So is it with, it's not with DFK Quester, it is with Sentient Pumpkin. That's what it is. And so here, let me show you this. Control C, and I'll just paste this into chat. So this is something that Born to Die was like a little side project that they're putting together. And one of the things that it can do here is do a little mining calculator. So it pulls things from the blockchain and from some other stuff where you can put in a hero ID. So you plug in your hero ID, and then it will tell you that that hero is a gardening profession with a strength and endurance and this specific mining skill. And with all of these numbers, it can calculate how much gold you're getting per tick and how much gold that hero will bring back per run based on the max stamina that you have also, right? And I thought that was pretty cool. And they have some other things, name search, hero stuff, and some other things here that are pretty cool as well. But this is, I think, something that I want to, I'm not going to emulate this exactly, but the idea of providing a web page where we can put in a value of something and get a little bit of information back on the screen is something that I would like to do as well, right? And I just want to start off with something super, super simple. But if that's what you're looking to learn, we're going to talk about it a little bit here. But if you've got some input, or if you've already learned a few things, would definitely love to hear your input as we're going through this stuff as well. Like if you say, oh no, Rock, do this thing, it's a little bit better, or look here, or do this, or something like that, feel free to give your input. It sounds like if that's what you're doing, trying to figure out how to pull information off a blockchain and display it on a website, that is where we're headed as well, and maybe we can help each other out. All right, so let's get back over to here. So the very next thing, although Joshua, I will say I'm probably going to go a little bit slower than you on your own. So please don't, I mean, it's okay to listen to me in one ear while you're doing work in the background, but you probably want to do things on your own a little bit faster, because I'll get sidetracked with chat and with a bunch of other stuff and all that kind of thing. So it's awesome. I've recently just started down the path this week, so I'll be learning with you. Absolutely. And like I said, don't hesitate to share, because there might be something that you read somewhere that we haven't gotten to yet, and it might really help us with what we're trying to design here as well. So let's see. We're trying to set this up. I think we're probably going to go with hard hat. Why not? I guess it really depends on what my Linux distribution has available to it. We're going to be using Fedora Linux to set this up. So that'll be interesting here. In fact, maybe one of the things that I ought to do here is take a look at this. Let me pull this off for just a minute. And if we take a look at DNF search hard hat, right? Use a Debian-based distro? Awesome. Yeah, Debian ought to be a good platform as well. Let's see if they've got anything for hard hat in here already set up in our repositories. Got to load all the software. Although I'm right at this very moment, I'm using a fairly old no matches found. That's not overly surprising, since I'm using a fairly old distribution, version 34, and 37 is just about to come out. And Fedora releases a new version about every 6 months. They try to do 2 a year. And so if I'm 3 versions behind, that means I'm about 1.5 years behind with the stuff. So it's not overly surprising that Fedora doesn't have that. Let's also try Truffle and just see if nothing found there either. Okay, so that's going to be interesting for us as well to figure out how we're going to work with that a little bit. In this tutorial, we'll use hard hat and assume you have VS Code already installed on your device. Oh, so do we need VS Code? So they're using some kind of distribution that looks like Yarn, whatever Yarn is. I'm sure it's a package. It handles package management on some distribution of Linux. Looks like. Navigate to the project folder. So we want to first create a project, make dir, and then we want to navigate to the project folder, install hard hat and dependencies needed to compile our test our token smart contract. So then they do yarn add hard hat with some other things, maybe looking at, oh, and that could be an issue also. So maybe we just need to add the meow. Yes, Mystical Meows, thank you for the reminder. Let's go ahead and do our giveaway for the 3:30 time mark. So we'll take a break from that and get y'all in chat. Let's see here. Chat. I think that's not the right one we want. We want Nightbot over here. So Joshua Burton and Mystical Meows are here in the chat. But I know I've got some other lurkers lurking back there, listening in the background. Nobel is here in the house. Rob, Dig Root. Meow also. Rob, I do have one of your tickets from yesterday that I've not sent yet. I tried sending your ticket. I don't know how long you've been listening, but OpenSea was being broken C, and so it wasn't sending out anything. And I just want you to be aware, I haven't gotten around to being able to get into OpenSea well enough to be able to send out yesterday's stuff, but you are still on my list from yesterday as well. Zabu says, did I miss anything? No, Zabu, you came in just in time. So we've got Joshua Burton, we've got Nobel, Mystical Meows, Rob Dig Root, and Zabu should be popping up here automatically in just a moment, is going to be my guess. I like the path you're going, learning a lot. Absolutely, Rob. Thank you for hanging out with us and being here. We'll get those tickets off to y'all soon. I think I might end up rebooting my computer after the stream today, and I might have to actually uninstall or remove MetaMask from my browser and then reinstall MetaMask. It might be something like that. Zabu says, just ate lunch. A late lunch. Oh, wow. That is a late lunch. I don't know what... Well, I guess it depends on where you live, right? So, I'm glad that you have eaten. I ate a little earlier, and then a couple of people here in chat were talking about some kind of food. I forget the name of it right off. Puntines or something? And it looked delicious, so it got me hungry again. All right. Just another 30 seconds or so to get your names here. If you are in the sound of my voice right now and you have not said something in the last 15 minutes, then please say something now. Speak up. We want to get your name on the list here for the drawing. So far, we've got Joshua, we've got Nobel, we've got Mystical Meows, we've got Rob Dig Root, and Zabu. If I did not call your name out, then you're not registered. And I'm just going to give you another few seconds to get in here. But it looks like these are our names. Nice small group here. Should be easy to pull out a win. Let's go ahead and pop over to the Wheel of Names. And paste those in here. Oh yeah, all things DFK. You were in chat just a minute ago. Are you still here? Let's see here. We've got these names, and let's go ahead and copy paste those a few times. Paste, 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 and one more, paste. All right. So we've got a rollover plus 2 tickets, a rollover plus 4 tickets, and you know what we're going to do right now? We're even going to say rollover plus 6 tickets right there on that one. If we get that. All right, let's go ahead and spin this wheel and see who is going to win the 330 prize package. It turns out it is going to be, Zabu Yes! I thought we were going to get rolled over there for a minute. But Zabu is the winner again. So Zabu, you won last time as well. So I owe you 2 tickets now. That's on my list. And again, we'll be getting those tickets. And as y'all know, those of you that I've already sent off tickets to in the past, I will also be sending a transaction ID number. So if y'all want to verify that they actually arrived in your wallet, you're welcome to check out that stuff as well. If I haven't sent you a transaction ID yet, that means that I haven't sent the tickets off. And because every time I send tickets, I shouldn't say every single time, but most of the time I send tickets, I will send a transaction ID if I do it offline. If I'm doing it online and you're actually watching me do it, then seeing the transfer complete is generally okay. But if I'm doing it offline, I feel like I want to send the transaction ID just so y'all can verify, he did send it, and then you can check your wallets and see, did it actually arrive and show up in there. Sabu says, should I play the lottery? I think so. Just a little bit, right? Nothing that you can't afford to lose, but a couple of dollars never hurt. Right? Just as long as we don't become addicted to the point where we're giving up our rent or mortgage or something. But yeah, congratulations. Congratulations, Abu. We've got you on the list. We've got one more giveaway in an hour from now at 4:30 my time. It's about in an hour. That'll be our last giveaway of the day. We won't have any of the rollovers for that one. Whoever wins it, wins it. All right, time to go back to lurk mode for those of you that were here just for that. Let's get back to our programming stuff here and move on a little bit here. So what we want to do, I think we want to make, let's just change directories. Let's go into, let's make a directory called, oops, got to spell it right. How's the font size for y'all on that? Should I make that bigger? Let's see if I see an easy way to do that. Can I do control? There we go. Let's make it medium font. How about large font? There we go. Maybe something like this. I think that'll be a little easier for y'all to read if y'all want to follow along with anything. So let's make a directory called kind of want to make a directory just for blockchain coding in general. CD into there, and then from here let's make another directory for our ROC 808 TST1 token right there. And let's also just call it that. All right, so we're going to change into that ROC 808 test1 token right here, and it says that we want to install Hardhat, with maybe some other things. And let's take a look here at Yarn Package Manager. Let's see what distribution that goes to. Yarn is a package manager that doubles as a project manager. And let's see. For what distributions? Yarn Software Package Management System in 2016 by Facebook, now Meta, the Node.js JavaScript runtime. Oh, interesting. So maybe it's cross-platform. It's a package manager for JavaScript. replaces the workflow for the NPM client or other package managers. Interesting. All right, so we assume that we have VS Code already installed. So that's something else, is VS Code, Linux, Fedora, perhaps specifically for me. Do we need this? Visual Studio. And it looks like we do have for RHEL and Fedora currently shipped 64-bit VS Code. And possibly as VS Code. So let's take a look for DNF search VS Code and just see if we've got that in our repository. No, nothing found there either. And again, I might need to upgrade my system for something. Can we? I wonder if I can get access to a test environment that's not on my own machine until I can do something there. Alright, well, let's read a little bit more and let's see. I might have to actually take the next steps after the stream today. I can see about doing some upgrades or something like that and see if we can get some of the software installed. So it says in this tutorial we'll use Hardhat and assume we already have VS Code already installed on your device, which of course I don't. So we'll take a look at that a little bit later. Creating this, bringing in Hardhat specifically with Yarn. Once installed, initialize the Hardhat setup wizard by running npx Hardhat. And it looks like they're in a Windows environment right here, by the way. So that's interesting. I'm going to be doing our stuff on Linux. So they've got in their dev, blockchain dev, React dApp tutorials, npx Hardhat runs that, create a basic sample project. Then we want to select that one, leave default root, add .git ignore. This will populate our project directory with default Hardhat files and folders. If you're not familiar with some of the just created files and want to dig deeper into what those are, check out the Create Your First dApp with Solidity guide there. The next step will be to modify the Hardhat config JavaScript file that contains the configuration settings to connect with running blockchain instances. Let me read that again. The next step will be to modify the configuration file that contains the configuration settings to connect with running blockchain instances. But first, let's grab our node provider endpoint URL. So grab your Mumbai provider endpoint using Alchemy. When deploying something on the blockchain, you'll need a node responsible to run your smart contract. To do so, you have two options. Spin up your own Ethereum node, or use a third-party node provider like Alchemy or Infura. Running your own node is usually discouraged. It's hard to maintain, it's difficult to scale, needs to be upgraded, and should ensure state consistency, requiring some serious constant engineering effort. Okay, well, we're not interested in that. In this case, we'll use Alchemy as a Mumbai node provider, and it's completely free. Easy to set up and has stunning features. All right, Alchemy is something that we'll look into as well. Maybe there'll be a way. Let's see, can we use Alchemy with Fedora Linux? So here we've got open source Alchemy stuff here, perhaps. This release is meant for Linux platform. We compiled and tested using Fedora. Oh, this is so old. 7? Wow, what the heck? Is this even... This might even be something totally different. Because Fedora 7 was like in the early 2000s, even before Bitcoin came out. So what's going on here? To install Alchemy on a Mac, we first need to do these things. Run, make, dev, Alchemy build. Yeah, okay. Wow. I'm going to think that this is not the same thing. This does not look right. Let's go ahead and check this website. Alchemy open source AI. So it's just, it is AI. That is different than what we're trying to do. Okay, so that is not what we want. Alchemy for chemists, mathematicians is probably not it as well. What if I were to say, like, blockchain? Or is it even... Maybe it's not even blockchain stuff. Let's see. Blockchain development made easy. So it looks like there is a website here that might allow us to do some things. But then we're going to need to go back to a project file. Creating a MetaMask wallet. Saving the private keys. Yeah, this... We might have gotten to the end of what I can do right now until I set up more of the environment. So... See, compile and deploy your own cryptocurrency to the Polygon Mumbai. Let's see here. They're running npx commands. And then we should be able to go and look at that through MetaMask. And we can add it to there. Okay, so there's not a lot more to really do here, but I think some of the setup we're not able to get access to right now. Could be that my software is just a little older. Hard hat for Linux. Let's just see if that hardhat.org makes sense. So the overview for Hardhat here. Let's see. Cookies, I guess we'll go ahead and accept those. Hardhat's tutorial for beginners. Welcome to our beginner's guide to Ethereum contracts and dApp development. This tutorial aims to quickly get you set up to build something from scratch. To orchestrate this process, we're going to use Hardhat, a development environment that facilitates building on Ethereum. It helps developers manage and automate the recurring tasks that are inherent to the process of building smart contracts and dApps, and it allows you to easily introduce more functionality around this workflow. This means compiling and testing at the very core. Yeah, we definitely want to be You're going to be doing a lot of compiling, testing, bug fixing, and so on, I suppose. Hard Hat also comes built in with Hard Hat Network, a local Ethereum network designed for development. It allows you to deploy your contracts, run your tests, and debug your code, probably locally on your own machine. And this tutorial will guide you through these steps. Setting up your Node.js environment for Ethereum development, creating and configuring a Hard Hat project, the basics of Solidity smart contracts that implements a token, writing automated tests for your contract using Hard Hat, debugging Solidity with console.log, using Hard Hat Network, deploying your contract to Hard Hat Network and Ethereum testnets. To follow this tutorial, you should be able to, write code in JavaScript, operate a terminal, use Git, understand the basics of how smart contracts work, and set up a MetaMask wallet. I can do some of those better than others, but should be able to do everything there. If you can't do any of the following, take some time to learn the basics. So that is probably going to be okay. Setting up the environment. Oh, I am interested. Learn JavaScript basics is where that takes us off to. Let's just take a look at that real quick, just to see, because some of y'all might need something like this. I will too. I'm not super fantastic at JavaScript, but it looks like we've got hello world examples we could just take and play with. Developable tools, variables, yep. So lots of good examples, and it looks like this page is fairly long. We get our creating variables and if statements, else functions. Let's see, events. All right. All right, all the common stuff, I think we're good there. Understand the basic of how smart contracts work a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Setting up the environment. So most Ethereum libraries and tools are written in JavaScript, and so is Hard Hat. Most Ethereum libraries and tools are written in JavaScript, okay? If you're not familiar with Node.js, and I'm vaguely familiar with it, it's a JavaScript runtime built on Chrome's V8 JavaScript engine. It's the most popular solution to run JavaScript outside of a web browser, and Hard Hat is built on top of it. Tip: Hard Hat for Visual Studio Code is the official Hard Hat extension that adds advanced support for Solidity to VS Code. If you use VS Code, give it a try. Hard Hat Visual Studio Code. Extension that adds language support, provides editor integration. Integrations for other tools are coming in the near future. Things like code completion, go to definition, type definition references. That's always been helpful to me in the past in certain IDEs. Symbol renames, Solidity code formatting. What is that specifically? Just kind of what am I looking at here exactly? You can hover over something. Hovering over variables, function calls, errors, and events will display pop-up showing type and signature information. Gotcha. Yeah. That could be helpful. Yeah. Inline code validation. That is also good to just make sure that if there's any problems, have those underlined, of course, while they're there. Code actions, implement missing functions on interface. Oh, interesting. So you just click on something, import that, and boom, you've got that imported rather than having to manually copy paste. All right. So this is something definitely that maybe I'll have to look at in a little bit more detail offline and read over that. All right. So getting back over here, Hard Hat Visual Studio Code. Might have to look at that a little bit later as well. So here we see installing Node.js. You can skip this selection if you already have working Node.js installation. If not, here's how to install it on Ubuntu, Mac, and Windows. And it looks like we've got a way to get it here into Ubuntu, but my code is going to be a little bit different. Oh, and we have this issue again, that window being hiding our other windows. So let's take a look at something else here. Let's do, oh man, you know what? I'm not even sure I've got full development stuff. DNF list Git as an example. It's available, but it's not even installed here. Yeah, I have another computer in the living room right now that I've done a lot of development on, and it's got all my development stuff there. So, do I really want to be installing a bunch of development software on this specific machine? I'll need to think about that. Maybe one thing that I could do is get that other machine set up with SSH, and then I can just SSH over to it from this machine in this other room, and then do the development on that remote machine from here. That might be a little bit better. And then if we do a DNF for list curl as another example of something we might need, and also oops, yeah, so that is installed, and Node.js. So those are available, but they're not installed. Okay, so I should be able to get those installed. Tell you what, let's do what do I want? DFSH, I guess. Probably what I'm looking for. And we just want to see that I've got only 646 meg available here, which is not a lot. Probably need to clean out some space. We do have 344 gig available in the store directory. But some of the software that we're going to be installing is going to go under the root directory here. So I think probably what we're going to need to do is not worry about that right now. We've only got about another hour for the stream, and so maybe after the stream I will fiddle around a little bit with the development machine that I've got, get Node.js installed. I've already got Git and curl installed on the other machine as well. Set that up a little bit, make sure that I have enough space for things, and then be a little bit more ready to do that here for tomorrow. All right. So, in the meantime, though, we can read a little bit more about what's going on here. So, creating a new hard hat project. See what they have to say. We'll install hard hat using Node.js package manager npm, which is both a package manager and an online repository for JavaScript code. So I guess what they're saying here is they're going to use npm to actually install instead of hard hat. So that might help us as well. In that we don't need to worry about hard hat being a package itself within Fedora, but maybe it would be accessible through npm. Man, I really do kind of want to play around with this right now. All right, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and see about doing a little bit of a setup here and see how far I can get. I think with 640 meg, that's going to be problematic. Maybe we'll try to free up some of that 13 gig later tonight or something. But I'm not going to do that on stream. That's just going to be kind of boring. Let's see. But in the meantime, let's just do a sudo and then DNF install for a couple things. I guess first off we want to do Perl, which I think we actually already have. It is already installed. So but just git and also Node.js. I think that'll be good enough. All right. So we're going to be installing Git, Node.js, a bunch of other things is going to come in here. It's going to be a total installed size of 189 meg. See, that's really eating into our thing there. 9A7A says, getting set up to mine Rock808 coin. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we might want to we might think about doing something like that. I hadn't thought about doing something that we could be mining, but I do think that I want to provide a little bit of a game that you can go and, you know, participate in something to get some tokens. Absolutely. Welcome back in, 9A7A. Hope you had a good break there. I don't know, I forget what part of the world you're in, so I'm not sure if you were eating lunch or dinner or what you've been doing. But I hope it was good, whatever it was. Alright, so we got these things installed right here, and then we want to I do want to make sure also that we're running maybe the proper version of the environment. Working version 16 or greater. So what did we just install? Node.js 1.14.19. I'm not really sure what version of Node.js that is. I guess we can do a DNF info on Node.js and see what this says here. Oh, it is version 14.19. Oh man. I think we're just running into some problems because of my old software on here right now. We need version 16 or greater. Node upgrade is usually pretty easy. Yes, it generally is, and I'm not overly concerned about it, except for the fact that I've got a lot of other old software on here. And by old, I really mean a year and a half old. Obviously, in blockchain stuff, there's been a lot of advancements in the last year and a half, and upgrading some things without other things could potentially be causing some problems later on down the road. So what I'm thinking I might want to do is upgrade my entire system. I was thinking about doing that after Fedora releases, in which case, man, it's gonna put it back a little bit. But if we take a look at Fedora release schedule, and we see here that let's see, I guess what we really need is calendar, not schedule. Use calendar. And maybe let's put 37, Fedora 37. Release is planned for November the 1st, right? So that's coming up in just like a week. And that's one of the reasons why I was wanting to delay that just a little bit, because I don't want to install 36. I don't want to upgrade from 34 to 36 and then in 1 week have to upgrade again to 37. So what we might end up doing, I could install a beta version of it and then just upgrade from the beta version in a few days. Otherwise, I would say maybe we just want to wait a week. And in a way, I don't want to wait a week. I'm very excited to get this stuff started now. But I can't do anything to speed up Fedora 37. So I'm thinking that we might go ahead and upgrade to 37, which means if I'm going to do that, 37 beta. So we might upgrade to 37 beta today, and then and then just upgrade from the beta to the full version after the 1st sometime. That's not the best thing to do. Also, it might have some downtime a little bit, potentially some downtime on the live streams, and I don't really want to do that either. So now I'm thinking that maybe a better way to do it, I've got another computer in the other room, and I could install 37 beta onto a different computer. And then from there, we could easily have this computer right now that we're looking at, could continue to have this older version on it for streaming and wouldn't interrupt the flow of the live streams. And then when the development computer, or when we could be using the beta version on the development computer for the next week or two. And then sometime after November the 1st, then we could wipe that out, save the work that we've been doing, but wipe it out otherwise, and then doing a full fresh install of Fedora 37 once it officially comes out. So I think that's the plan. That sounds like a good plan to me. And then that way I don't need to worry about downtime for the live streams, and I don't need to worry about possibly hurting something that we're doing here. So yeah. 978 says, working today, yes. Node upgrades usually pretty simple after just the after effects of it. Yeah, virtual images are a good thing. Yes. In fact, one of the things that I've got set up on another computer is some virtual machines, and we could do that also. But that computer needs to be upgraded anyway. A lot of my computers seem to be needing upgrades right at the moment. All right, so maybe what we're going to do is we're going to put this on hold for the rest of the day. And we've only got 50 more minutes on the stream. We're about to do a giveaway in another 20 minutes. And so we'll just put this on hold, and we will revisit tomorrow. And this evening, maybe I'll take this evening to reinstall the OS on another computer, and then we'll just be able to use that other computer from here, like a remote desktop type of thing, and then work there. I think that sounds good. So in the meantime, we do have a few actual DeFi Kingdoms things that we want to get to today that I have kind of put off, not on purpose, but we were just busy with other things. And one of those is the metaverse sheet that we've got here. And if we do that, let me pull it off to another screen, and then I can get to let's see, our daily information that we're keeping up with. And I have not been keeping track with this for the last couple of days, so we really need to be keeping up with our stuff here. But the last day I have recorded was the 22nd of October. It's already the 25th. It's also later in the day than normal too. So let's make some changes here. This is the 25th, and this is 1600 hour, or 4 p.m. my time. So let's take a look at a few of the things that we're trying to work with here, and that is let's refresh this web page here, and let's take a look at gas. 10,700 joule. 10,701 to be precise. 0.895. So we've spent a little bit, but that's because we were doing something, and I forget right now. Oh, we did a summons the other day. That's what it was. Our crystal, we are at 74.96 crystal. 74.96. We're going to reset that down to 5 probably. So this means that in 3 days, we have gained about 8 or so crystal, which is not a lot, but we do want to keep in mind that we've been doing some duels in the meantime, right? So one of the things that we have been doing is coming over to the castle and looking at the duel raffles. Let's see what we've got in here. It says 92. Is that accurate? It might be accurate. But if we look in to the current raffles, we should be able to see that for some of these things, we already have entries. So we've got 43 raffle tickets into here. Got 54 raffle tickets into a golden egg. 34 into something there. 51, 1100 into some eggs, and 1138 into some more eggs right there. So we are putting raffle tickets into these pools in hopes to better our chances at winning a Gen 0, right? So let's go ahead and enter this raffle. Let's put 20 tickets in here. We've got 1 minute to get stuff in. Let's go ahead and open up MetaMask, confirm. And let's come down to this one here too. And 20, enter. Too many tickets. Oh, did it just do something? There could have been something that happened behind the scenes. Let's refresh this page. I am kind of fighting with a bot, I guess, a little bit. This says I got 0. All right. Oh, 72. But this raffle is just about to end in like 16 seconds, 14 seconds, so I don't think I'm able to get into there in time. Although, I should have, I mean, that's 20 less than I had, so I should be in that one, actually. Let's refresh one more time. There we go, 20 is in there, and it just recently ended. Okay, so we should be able to go to previous raffles and see some of the winners here. Again, my wallet address is 1CD, so we can check to see what was won. Didn't win that, didn't win that, no, no. Didn't win that one. Did not win that. Nope. 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 And nope. So I haven't won any of these raffles that we're looking at here, but if we go under my inventory, let's see here. I've still got one of each of these eggs, so I definitely didn't win any of the egg stuff. Although some of these things like this right here, Lesser Vigor Stone, I'm not sure if I bought 3 of those before. I might have bought 1, possibly. Fortitude Stone, probably bought that myself. Insight Stone, possibly could have bought that myself. But it looks like I don't have a lot of interesting things here. Although I will also admit that a lot of the things that I would own possibly would get sent automatically to the unbotted account. So the Rock 808B account. And if we take a look here and refresh this, and we look at the inventory over here, Lesser Finesse Stones, Lesser Fortune Stones. So this is possible that we could have won that, maybe. I don't necessarily see anything else. I just see a small number of eggs. So probably did not win much of any of those raffles yet either. Well, that's a little unfortunate. I would hope that I would have won a little bit more than that. I suppose we could also look at the blockchain specifically to see if we had won sometime in the past. If we take a look at this with our 1CD address and the history, we should see here, like, I'm gaining raffle tickets, and then I'm spending raffle tickets for things. And we should also possibly be able to tell when I'm winning. the duels, and if I was winning any of the prizes. And I don't want to search through here too long right now. It's not how I want to spend my time, but I guess it's possible that we could go back through here and look and see a little bit more carefully, or search through it somewhere better. In the meantime, we are doing some duels, and we are putting raffle tickets into the system, and hopefully the idea is that we are going to get some extra possible chances at a Gen 0 for us for that. But also, until then, we want to recognize that I am spending some crystal to go on those duels. And that's another reason why we have not gained so much in the last day. For the gold, though, we were at 25,700 a couple of days ago, and now we're at 34,143. The number of heroes that we have in this wallet right now is probably 50 to 53. Oh, 56 heroes. Oh, man. So I guess I did an extra summons or two. And speaking of which, attributes, oops, not attributes, Dark Knights apply. So this one's has got 2,000 still level 1, and then this one is not, this one hasn't done anything in the last couple of days, so maybe that's the highest priority, is just to get this one to do something. So let's go ahead and take a look at, this is one that we summoned ourselves recently, and because we didn't put him into the spreadsheet, then they're not doing anything here. So let's go ahead and plug this into the spreadsheet here. Paste. And then I guess we can highlight some of those things too and say clear the formatting of that. Or even choose that. Let's put those lines around those cells again. Okay. And then what else do we have about this? This ID number 43653. So 43653. All right. And we can clear the formatting on that. It is a Dark Knight with mining, I'm pretty sure. Dark Knight with mining. Alright. We can take this ID, paste it over here. Here for Crystal Veil. And let's do false for level up on that one at the moment. And what are we going to do with you? So if we take a look at all of our mining heroes, apply. We've got 23 mining heroes. And we really only need 18. That's part of the problem that we've got. So let's see. Some of those mining heroes need to be doing slightly other things. One of them is Galena, who is doing auto level ups with some stamp pots. in which case I need to also check in. It's been a few days, and I don't think we have any more stamina potions. We don't. So we need to maybe make some more stamina potions for Galena to zip up there a little faster. But let's only do one thing at a time. So the first thing that we want to do is figure out what this particular hero should be doing for level ups. I would say a Dark Knight mining is probably what we want them to be doing. We could take a look at, we'll just flip all even, and take a look and see here that we've got level 18, level 12, level 15 for mining and so on. So some of these levels are getting pretty high, and maybe we would rather them to be doing other things, right? So we've got a level 10 hero, so Gen 0 even. We've got a level 10 hero that has 24 for strength. Maybe we want them to be going off and doing strength questing rather than mining right now. That could potentially be better. If we took a look at levels, descending, we've got another level 10. With a blue endurance. Zabu says, okay, I'm back. What are we looking at, Rock? So what we're looking at is we are... we recognize, I'm not sure when you left, but we recognize that some of the software that I've got installed on this machine is a little bit older, and we've got a somewhat limited amount of hard drive space in the places where we might need to install some other software for the Solidity contracts and all this other kind of stuff, our project builds that we're going to be doing. So, and then because some of the software I have is a little bit older and a new version is coming out soon, then what I've decided to do is after the stream today, since we've only had a few more minutes for the stream, we've got 30 minutes left now, but we only had an hour, and I would need to reinstall a computer that's out in the living room, and of course don't want to be doing that when I'm trying to do a stream. So we're probably just going to spend the next 30 minutes. We're going to finish up this stream here, and then I'm going to install or upgrade the operating system on a machine in the living room that we'll be able to get access to from this machine here in the office to be able to do Solidity contracts and all this stuff tomorrow. So in the meantime, we're spending the last 30 minutes to actually get to your question. What we're looking at is I'm doing some updates. I'm updating the spreadsheet that we used to be doing every morning, and I've skipped for 3 days now. We are updating the spreadsheet, and along with that, I'm realizing that I've got a few more miners than I really need in this particular wallet. And so we're trying to decide what these miners should be doing. So here we've got a level 10, level 10 something, level 10 paladin, right? And has a 15 mining skill. That maybe this guy should go off and do a little something else, like maybe endurance training or something. And so that's what we're kind of looking at right now. So this is hero ID 105952. $105,952, this guy right here, and we see that this one already is doing endurance training. So that leads me to look at the number of miners. Who's actually mining? Assigned miners is only 18. Okay, and that is what we want. This one, though, looks like we haven't even finished Drew Creek's Prowler or Melwin. They need stuff to be doing. So this is gardening, and how many? So I definitely want this one mining. Locked balances. But that means I have to take another one off of locked balances. Mystical Meows has returned again. Thank you for stopping by, saying hello. That reminds me that Mystical Meows, I think you are my alarm clock here for the giveaways. So let's see. Let's come back over to YouTube, and we've got Mystical Meows and Zabu here are the only ones on my list for the last giveaway of the day. I'm sure there's a couple of you out there that are probably lurking and listening in the background. 9A7A was here just a few minutes ago. Rob Dig Root was not here too long ago. Nobel, Joshua Burton, if y'all are in the sound of my voice, now is the time to come on out. Nobel is certainly in lurk mode. Nice. 9A7A is lurking as well. Cool. Very good. And let's see here. Anybody else want to get on this list for the last drawing of the day? Last drawing of the day, folks. Get in here. Speak now or hold your peace until tomorrow. Some people might have jetted out for the day or gone to touch some grass. We'll give them another 30-45 seconds to get in here. Those people that have said something recently, y'all can go back into lurk mode. You're not going to need to be here for the spin. And we've got the active users time slider set to 15 minutes. So as long as we do this within 15 minutes, y'all are good. Oh, Grady is live. Oh, yeah. If Crypto Grady is live, then absolutely people are probably paying a little bit more attention to him. I would certainly encourage that. All right, well then let's spin with us. Rob Dig Root, hey! Holler at. Yeah, absolutely, Rob. Thanks for coming on in. We're about to do our last spin of the day, and you just made it in. Just go ahead and collect those names, pull them over here to the name list. Highlight all of these. There is no rollover because this is the last spin of the day. But we don't want such big pieces of the pie all at once, so we are going to just copy and paste a few times to get those names in multiple times. Make it a little smaller, more exciting. And let's go ahead and run with this. All ready? Fire, Zabu says. Let's do it. Good luck, everybody. Good luck. Oh, so close. Rob Dig Root. Rob, very good. Congratulations. And also, Rob, I see that you won yesterday as well. And like I was saying a little earlier, I have you on the list. You were not forgotten. But, of course, I was saying that OpenSea was being Broken Sea, so we didn't get all those things transferred yesterday. So we've got 2 for Zabu, we've got 2 for Mystical Meows, 1 from yesterday, 1 from today. We've got Big Bubba J from earlier today as well. And we've got Sir Jewel Staker from this morning. And then we've got 2 for Sergeant Filthy McNasty. And of course, Rob, you got 1 from yesterday, 1 from today. And Mystical Meows, you had 1 from yesterday as well as 1 from today. So those tickets are still on my list. They're going to be handed out here probably once I end stream. Like I said, I need to do something with my MetaMask to unhook it from whatever it's doing, and I don't want to fiddle around with that on stream necessarily. So, but congratulations to those winners for today, and like I said, you will know that I have sent those to your wallets, because I will always give, if I do it offline, I will always give transaction IDs. So y'all should see that. And if you see a transaction ID sent to you and you don't see it in your wallet, then definitely get back and touch base with me. Like, say, hey, I see you sent this. There's a transaction ID, but I don't see it in my wallet. Then we can take a look at it tomorrow on stream. And if I haven't sent you a transaction ID yet, that means that I just haven't gotten around to sending those off yet. And hopefully that'll be soon, though. Okay, guys, let's get back to the last little thing here. Thanks for being here today, and make sure you're going to watch Crypto Grady. If y'all are not watching him on his stream, definitely be doing that. And for me today, I'm just going to finish up the last 20 minutes of this stream, figuring out what I'm going to be doing with these heroes and getting them doing their proper things, whatever that's going to be. So one of the things that I'm doing here is recognizing that I've got 19 miners going towards locked mining right now, and that's not really what I want to be happening. So where should those miners be going? Let's see what other miners we've got doing things. This one right here is Jernin, Gen 0. And what is Jernin doing? Jernin is doing training quest for strength, so we don't care about that one. Inax, who is also a level 10 with mining 15. This is hero ID 105952, which was this one right here. And that hero is going to training quest for endurance, so that's already also not doing locked mining quests. The next one up in our levels looks like this level 8 right here. If we flip over that card, we see that we've got mining level 16 with a 20, a blue 20 in fact. So that will push it over 21. In fact, I think the blue for training quests gives it +3. So that would ultimately be +3 for this one. So maybe we'll have this one, Serendale 166387, go towards endurance. Even though strength and vitality are both over 20, I think the blue endurance pushes it up to 23. So we're going to do endurance for you. 166387. 166,387 right here. And this one is going to lock mining. So instead, we're going to trade you for endurance. And then that way, now we've got 18 locked miners again, and which is the proper number to have going towards your locked balance. And that means that we've got that new Dark Knight not leveling up. We're going to keep him at level 1, but we are going to send them there to mining. And we can also copy and paste this, because that one is definitely minor as well. And then, what are we going to do with this Paladin? Gardening Paladin Drew Creek Prowler. Drew Creek Prowler is not getting any experience either right now, and that's no good. We need to get these heroes questing. So, Drew Creek Prowler, you're a Gardener Paladin, which I think is another one that we summoned not too long ago. And we were we appreciated the fact that it was, even though I think we missed out on something, some aspect of it turned out to not be great. Maybe just the fact that it's a gardener. But the gardener has good vitality, and I think paladins make fairly good gardeners. Let's check the infographic on that again real quick. But I seem to remember that if we look here at gardening, paladins are the second best class for gardening. Although, I think I would have preferred, if we go back to this, I think I would have preferred the paladin to do mining, right? That's what we would have preferred. It's a little bit better, right? But still, paladin gardener is good. So we're going to get you going gardening if we have the appropriate number of gardeners, which should be, you know what, and I shouldn't be checking this either. It says 25, but really what I want to do is I want to check here and see the gardening assigned is 0. And the reason that 0 are assigned is because I've taken everything out of the liquidity pools for the moment. So, what do we do with a gardener that is a level 1 and not going to be too good at the training quests? I think we have done something else with those. This is training quests. All these are training quests. This one we're sending mining to gold mining. This one we're sending to gold mining as well. Gold mining. So we've got 4 going to mining. Let's send this one to mining as well. Because, again, as a paladin, you should be doing fairly decent with mining. And that means that we've got 5 going to mining, and that's decent. All right. We're supposed to be doing stamina potions. Okay, so I think I've gotten everything here. The only other things that we would want to look at for this particular, these two are, how do we want to level them up? I think for the Dark Knight, we definitely want to be using a chart that I have somewhere. Dark Knights. Dark Knight miners should be getting a lesser might crystal. So we're going to say yes, and a lesser might crystal. There we go. And that should be good. Then we're also, for the Dark Knight miner, strength, vitality, and intelligence. Strength, vitality, and intelligence is probably what we want. If we look at this one specifically, Dark Knights. Strength, vitality, and intelligence are all going to have a little bit of the higher stats. But maybe we want to have him do a few levels of endurance Let's see, endurance for the secondary growth is still 16.25. That's pretty decent. Bravo's Lab, welcome into chat. The music makes me feel like I'm playing Final Fantasy. Interesting. I don't think I've ever played Final Fantasy. So I think for this particular one, we are going to go, rather than intelligence, we're going to do endurance for at least a few levels. Focus on that. And we're not even leveling it up right now anyway. Zelf says, hi everybody. Hey, how are you doing, Zelf? Welcome into chat. Win Serendale 2.0. Bean, how are you doing, Bean? Good to see you again. So Bravo Time says, Win Serendale 2.0. I am going to suggest the end of November. The second release period in November. So in November, we're going to have 2 release weekends, or 2 release weeks. And I'm going to guess the second one. Anybody else have any speculation on when we're going to get Serendale 2.0? I guess possibly we could get it in the first release week of November. Clayton has said this month, October? Bravos, when you say Clayton said this month, what do you mean by that? You saying that people on the Clayton blockchain said that DeFi Kingdoms is coming to, that Serendale 2.0 is coming this week? Week before Thanksgiving. Because Tram needs time off. Yeah, that sounds about right. Which is the second, which should be the second release period in November. So if that's the case, Zelf, then I was right. All Things DFK says early November. It could be early November, but I think that might be a little too ambitious. I say maybe this Friday. This Friday? I mean, I don't want to just outright say no, because it's possible, but I really don't think so. Let me see. I think somewhere up in here, we've got a calendar. Here it is. So if we're looking at, I don't think it's going to be Friday. So no, I would say not Friday for sure. And the reason that not Friday is because we've already been told that the next release period is going to be on October the 31st. So that's going to be on Monday. And I am 99.999% sure that that means, since the next, quote, as they said, release period is going to be on October 31st, specifically on Halloween, that we are not going to have a release this Friday. That wouldn't make a lot of sense, although technically it's possible. I mean, devs could do anything. They could change their minds. Anything could potentially happen, right? But I don't think that's going to happen. So I think we're going to get a release on the 31st. And then remember what they said is they're going to slow down the release periods, and they're going to be giving one every other week. They're going to give a 2, instead of a release every week, it's going to be every 2 weeks. And because of that, that means that you would have something sometime around the 14th and then again on the 28th. If we were strictly speaking about exact 2-week periods. But the team did not necessarily say they had to be on Mondays, or the release period was going to be on Mondays from here on out, even though October 31st is a Monday. So my guess potentially is that we could have something on the 31st, and then maybe like on the 11th and 25th, or maybe the 9th and the 23rd. That would make sense if they wanted to move back over to a normal Wednesday release period. Zabu says, please don't give any ideas. Any ideas for, like, guessing? I think these are pretty good guesses. We know that the 31st is going to be one, and then they said every 2 weeks. So I'm going to say the 31st, the 9th, and the 23rd could be very valid times. And if they're going to be doing one the week before Thanksgiving, so if you're really talking about on the 14th or the 18th, that's possible that they could do it there. But then it's going to be really interesting because their release is on the 31st, unless they're delaying the one for the 26th. In other words, don't have the release on the 26th, but instead push it back to the 31st, and then so it would be the 9th and the 23rd would be the 2 in November. Oh, that was for Andrew? Yeah. So, hey, welcome on in, new people. I'm going to guess that Crypto Grady might have just ended a stream. I know he was live a little bit, and things were a little quiet here, so it's probably where y'all were hanging out, and I do encourage that y'all listen to him. He's got a lot of really good information. Let's see what's going on here in our chat. Week before Thanksgiving, because Tram needs time, or the team needs time off. Yep, that could very well be. But if it's the week before Thanksgiving, then you're talking about the 14th to the 18th, and how does that fit in with our every other week schedule if we know that one of the next release is on the 31st? So that'll be a little interesting. Yeah, updates will be every 2 weeks, Sabu reminds us all. Doubt it's the Friday. My guess is closer to New Year for the Serendale 2.0. So you think December even? Wow. I mean, it's possible. I don't want to say no. It is possible. In fact, no, I'm not sure. It could be December, but I don't really think so. I really think it's going to be the second release weekend in November. Whatever the second release weekend is November, I think that's what it's going to be. And the reason I don't think it's December is because PvP, I really think they're shooting for an early January release or something like that of PvP. And I think that they're going to have Serendale 2.0 out in a decent amount of time before that, is my guess. But Serendale 2.0 is a big project, and they want to have a lot of parts out. They're not going to release it they're not going to roll it out over time. They want to have Gen Zeros already there. You can buy and sell in the tavern. You're going to be able to rent. You're going to be able to do summons and all that kind of stuff, all that functionality, possibly even all of the professions are going to be available as soon as Serendale 2.0 releases and so on. And if that's the case, it is possible that it might take a little bit longer, but I don't feel it in my bones. I could be wrong about an end of year. I still think the second week in November. We'll see. Zelf says, be funny if it was Black Friday because everyone would be buying. Yeah, right. So that is something too. We don't know what days of the week. I think the releases had all been on Wednesdays, right? So they had a release on a Wednesday, and then on Thursday was the AMAs. So it's interesting that they're doing a Monday, October 31st, for the Halloween thing. But I think that's only because it's Halloween, and I think that resides in specifically with Dark Summoning, right? And I think they want to have Dark Summoning released on Halloween specifically for that hype of Dark Summoning and Halloween. Makes sense. Other than that, I don't see why they would be getting off of their normal Wednesday release schedule, which I would say then is probably the 9th and the 23rd is going to be my guess for those. They could rearrange the days a little bit, just like they're rearranging the day for Halloween. But yeah, Black Friday would be pretty cool to have something then, just because I do think people are buying, or even on Thanksgiving, right? Why not have your release on Thanksgiving Day and be thankful for this thing too, right? And that would make sense too. Be thankful for Serendale 2.0, right? Release it there on Thanksgiving Day specifically. And then once that's released, then everyone would be buying on Friday, Black Friday, right? Which is always the Friday after the Thanksgiving Thursday. Let's see. Yes, sir. We just got here from Crypto Grady stream. Nice. Awesome. Glad y'all were listening to him. What did he talk about on his stream today? If he's going to be streaming at this time on a regular basis, I'm going to need to work something out. Like we might end our streams early because I would like to catch his streams as well. And so if I have to end early on a couple of days, we might just do that. Let's see here. All Things DFK says, no, it won't be in December. So, All Things DFK, why do you think it won't be in December? I'm fine with you saying that, but give us reasons. Just like I gave some reasons why I don't think it's December. I don't want to hype myself up too much, but I think it's October, November, so more conservative with my guess. Yes, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you don't want to get overly excited, so you're pushing it back a little bit. I will agree with you on that, though, Andrew. I think it's probably going to be in November, but if you don't want to get overly excited, and if the team stumbles into a problem where they have to push it back, it will get pushed back into November. I mean, into December. So, that makes sense. I mean, I could see why you would say it would ultimately get pushed back a little bit more and pushed back a little bit more into there. Yeah. Zabu says, I'm too excited for the next few months. So much is coming. It is. There is so much coming. It is crazy. Last I heard, Sergeant says, last I heard it, Thune. Yes, I definitely agree with that. It is coming very soon. Thune-ish to be sure. Yeah, Thune-tober. Nice. Thune-sumber. Yes. Any one of these, I think, would be very good. Let's see. Bum Slab says Thune-sumber. Yeah. Or how about just Thune-burr? It could be October, November, or December. One of those burr months, right? Oh, man. All Things said he talked to... Oh, right. Oh, my goodness. I wanted to catch it. I didn't even know what time it was. They talked about All Things DFK. Yes. Oh, man. That's one that I definitely did not want to miss. And for some reason, I totally missed it. Wow. Guys, if we're doing a live stream and something like that's going on in some other stream, whether it's Crypto Grady's or anybody's, I want to know. So I can just wrap this up here. I'm not on a mission to be streaming all the time for everything. But I can't believe nobody in my chat mentioned at all that he was streaming, much less that Christian Peter was on too. Oh man. That would... Yeah, definitely wanted to be there for that. Now I feel crushed. Thanks for telling me, Robin Hood. Now I feel even worse than if it was just Grady streaming on his own anyway. Alright, we're ending the stream right now. I'm out. No, just kidding. But we are about to end anyway. It is just about 5 o'clock. But let me catch up with chat first and say bye to everybody, and then we'll probably be about the time to wrap up. I'm interested in hearing what y'all's ideas are for when Serendale 2.0 is coming out as well. So let's see, they said all things considered, talking about All Things DFK. I'll definitely be watching that probably right after I get off here. I'll grab myself some dinner and I'll probably pull up that live stream and watch, or that video and watch. Let's see. We can't predict exactly. Yeah, that's true, Robin Hood. We just can't predict exactly. It's all speculation. It's fun to speculate a little bit. Jerkamach says, Bravo Slab, do not try to find Jade until DFK makes it official. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't be looking for Jade until it's already out and official, and we have contracts, IDs that we can check, and all that kind of stuff. A lot of scams. I haven't seen any scams yet, but it sure would not surprise me. I haven't been out looking for scams either. Sabu says, excitement and coffee don't mix well. Oh man, that's That face right there. Ah, excitement and coffee together. Yow. Any J tokens you see before the release, I'd assume is a scam. Absolutely right. I think we are all aware of that, but it does not hurt to share it amongst the community, just as a reminder. We didn't want to offend. Oh, Robinhood, all things. No. Do not worry about offending me for any reason whatsoever, ever, right? I mean, say anything you want. It doesn't even have to be about, you know, who's streaming or anything. But if Crypto Grady is streaming, dude, I like watching him too, and I like being a part of that community. And I stream 6 hours every day, right? Cutting my stream an hour or two early on one day does not matter to me at all. I do not care about that. Catching Crypto Grady live and the one time he streams a week or 2 times that he streams or something like that, especially when it's kind of random and he doesn't have a set time and it's hard for me to know when he's going to stream, yes, I want to be there, right? As well as I'm sure all of us do. So, and y'all can catch me tomorrow at the same time, right? Y'all don't need to be here for me. I mean, I'm flattered that you are if you're watching both streams at the same time or something like that. But, you know, don't worry about that. It's not going to hurt my feelings at all, right? So, yeah, definitely do not worry. And even if it wasn't the case, even if Crypto Grady did stream every single day, I'd like to know, just because, you know, I want to go watch him too, right? And I can always stream another time. Do not want to announce and have viewers leave my stream. Oh, dude, really? Again, another thing here. It does not matter to me about my stream so much, right? We're all one big happy community together. And if I've got a couple of viewers here, I would actually be super surprised if we had viewers here that weren't also watching Crypto Grady. So I think most of us know, most of us have alerts that when that goes off. In fact, I'm not even sure why. Oh, because on this streaming computer, I don't want alerts just popping up, right? That is true. And my phone is muted, so I don't see those alerts. But I think most of y'all probably have alerts when things go off and everything like that. So, yeah, it's good. And then I want my viewers to go and watch Crypto Grady as well. And like I said, I think it's part of the same thing. I'm going to be here I'm going to be here tomorrow for 6 more hours, the next day for 6 hours, the next day for 6 hours. Y'all are going to have plenty of time with me. Yeah, definitely let me know. And especially, it doesn't even have to be when a good guest is on. Just anytime he's streaming. I think he streamed twice during my afternoon streams now. And if he's getting enough energy up, or if he's actually able to do that, because there have been many times when I've asked him, hey, are you going to be streaming later? And he says he thinks so. And I think he's got a lot of stuff going on with him, and he probably wants to stream more, but just it's hard to find the time or get, be in the right mindset and all this other kind of stuff as well. And so, like I said, I'd much rather end mine soon than to try to miss, or than to miss his. So yeah, y'all don't worry about it. All right, guys, let's see. I'm all caught up. So I think we got a good bit of information here about when we think Serendale 2.0 might be coming out. And it's going to be a Burr month, right? October, November, December, one of those. It's looking like a lot of people are agreeing that November probably sounds pretty okay. It's possibly getting pushed back into December. And like I said, I would not be surprised at all if we found out that later in December would be the time. And I'm noticing that Christmas is on Sunday this year. And I'm wondering if they would give us Serendale 2.0 as a Christmas present. I hope not. I would much rather have it as a Thanksgiving Day gift. So, if anybody's listening, or this gets passed on to anybody in the dev team, I'd much rather have it as a Thanksgiving Day gift than a Christmas gift. So please keep that in mind. Let's see. Zelf says delays until January. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. I hope not. I think Serendale 2.0 is really, really close, guys. I really do. There's lots of things that I remember hearing, and I don't have any specifics right off the top of my head, but I have heard enough that they are coming here, that's coming soon, and I'm really thinking, I was thinking, by the way, Serendale 2.0 would be out by the end of October, right? That was my original thought. And then there was one or two things that made me think that it was going to get pushed back just a little bit, which would be in November, right? Nobel, I'm off. Have a good one. And don't forget to drop a like on the video. Thank you so much, Nobel, for reminding me and the audience here. These YouTube videos it does really help the algorithms and to get the word out if you have a like on it. So definitely remind that. And I'm bad at forgetting myself, so I like to be reminded to push that like button as well. See you tomorrow, Nobel. Thanks for hanging out with us. And that really is the end of my stream here, too. We were just talking about Serendale 2.0, and I think we got some really good stuff on that. So, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. And I'm going to try to do a little upgrade to my machine. We're working on building a Solidity contract for a ROC 808 token that we can hand out as prize rewards and try to get that into the DFK blockchain. So all kinds of really good stuff are coming for the channel here and y'all viewers. Hey, Christian Peter, how are you doing? Christian, I was wanting to watch y'all so much today. I know y'all just finished with Crypto Grady. I'm not sure how long you've been sitting here in my chat, but I had to scold. Is that the right word? I don't know if scold my chat is the right word, but I definitely had to let them know. They didn't even tell me that Crypto Grady was on because they didn't want to offend me and have my viewers going off. And I was like, no way. I want to watch Crypto Grady just as much as anybody else. You know, tell me. Especially, I wanted to watch your show, so I'm going to have to catch the rerun of it here right as soon as I get offline. But definitely, sounds like you had a great show there. And something that I'm doing here right now, we're about to build I'm not sure if you'd be interested in something similar or if you already got an idea with this, but I'm looking to build a ROC 808 rewards token. I've already got, I think I was telling you, maybe you might have seen it the other day, a ROC 808 play to earn reward ticket, so I can reward my viewers of live streams, give them something, and then they can redeem these reward tickets for a hero or a pet egg or a hatched pet or something like that. We're going to be doing all kinds of giveaways. Those giveaways are generally on the weekends. But the problem with what I've got right here is I developed this many months ago. It's an NFT on the Polygon blockchain, which means it doesn't integrate with DeFi Kingdoms too well. And so one of my projects right now with the community here is I want to develop a DFK token on the DFK blockchain and have it integrated more with DFK, that I can hand that out to all the viewers here, specifically more focused on DeFi Kingdoms. And that reminded me, just seeing you in here in chat and knowing that we were doing this work today, reminded me that I had seen a video from you not too long ago where you were talking about how excited you were when you first did something. I think you also created a token maybe, and you got it set up through MetaMask. And of course, we're going to be looking to do that very similar thing pretty soon. So I'm excited for that. Now it's kind of made me wonder, what are you doing with yours? What are you planning to do with what you've created? Do you have similar ideas? Have you even thought about it, or was it just something you were doing in the background? Well, let's see. Zelf says, quick question. The new tokens, maybe call it Pebble, Rock, and Boulder. Oh my goodness, Zelf. I'm going to make a note of that here. Pebble, Rock, and Boulder for the different denominations. That sounds fun. I kind of like that. I really do. Crypto Grady, how are you doing, man? I was so looking forward to your stream, Grady, and none of my chat even told me that you were on, and I guess I thought it was going to be later in the evening, and I guess I didn't see a time of when it was going to be, so I missed the live, and I'm so upset. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch it again and get all of the juicy details as soon as I get off stream here. I'm going to grab myself some dinner and watch that video that you've got right up there. But yeah, thanks for coming in. Oh, and Grady, anytime that you're about to stream, please come in and tell me and our chat here that you're about to go live in 30 minutes or whatever it is. And maybe I shouldn't say that, because I don't want it to be like you have to be my alarm clock or a reminder. I should have looked into finding out. I knew you were going to stream today, and I just didn't make a note of what time that was going to be. So that's really my fault. I don't want you to have to jump in, but do feel free to jump in at any time and just let us know that you're streaming and all that kind of stuff. I stream so often, as I was telling my viewers earlier. I don't think you were in chat yet. Still, my viewers earlier, I stream 6 hours every single day, and for me to cut off a little early to go watch you live is perfectly fine. We're all one big happy DeFi Kingdoms community, and it's not stepping on my toes for you to be streaming. I'm much more happy just for you to be streaming anytime, since it's a little bit more challenging for you to find a good time to get on stream and all that kind of stuff. So, so I guess what I'm saying there is, anytime you're streaming, do not feel weird about, saying, hey, I'm about to stream, and thinking you're stepping on my toes, because I do not feel that way at all. And I think a lot of people would like to watch you, and then we can always, I'm going to be here tomorrow and the next day and the next day anyway, right? So yeah, very cool. Anyway, let's wrap up the stream today. I was trying to wrap it up at 5 o'clock, and then before I know it, Christian comes in, and then a few minutes later, Grady's coming in, and got to say words to them as well. But what we're working on my channel here today and in the near future is we're working on building Solidity contracts. We're going to be making a Rock 808 ERC token that can be given as reward gifts. And so we're kind of building that as a community. And then also I want to be showing y'all how to do a little programming we're going to build a little game. Ultimately, we're going to be building a game based on DeFi Kingdoms that we can play as a side game. And it might be small, but that is what we're going to be working on for a while. And of course, everything else DeFi Kingdom as well. So let's see. Absolutely. New influencers, always welcome, indeed. Indeed. All right, I think that wraps it up for my stream today. Give you all a little overview about what's going on with us here. And otherwise, thanks for stopping by. I've got to go run and watch a Crypto Grady video immediately after this and see what Christian Peter had to say on that stream. Very interested. Always like watching his videos as well. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. And until tomorrow, when I see you again, rock out.